Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos and Abuja. A reminder of our main stories. World Bank ranks Nigeria among poorest nations in the world. Federal government appears set to make economy more robust. Senate begins process of reproducing the nation's constitution. And Ukraine's deposed President Viktor Yanukovych says Russia's annexation of Crimea is a tragedy. Now, all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from the respective stores. We can now interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS, and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap on the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions to share your report, pictures, and videos. Now, here are some of the pictures sent in by some of our eyewitness reporters. We begin in Kwara State with this picture where students of the Federal Polytechnic Offa took to the streets to protest against the resumption of strike by lecturers while the students were writing their examinations. From Offa to Abuja, the nation's capital, where on April the 1st, the reporters said they came back to their homes at 46 Lome Crescent, Wuse Zone 7, to be confronted by huge loads of debris at the gate dumped by personnel of the Abuja Environmental Protection Board. He's asking if this is enforcement of environmental law or jungle justice. And finally to Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, where drivers of trailers, trucks and cars have converted parts of the Julius Berger Azikoro Road to a park, causing traffic jam. Well, thank you for sending in your pictures. Please keep them coming. Well, in the meantime, Nigeria appears set to rebase its gross domestic product, the GDP. This process involves factoring in processes of the economy that have been left out in the calculation of the nation's GDP for 15 years. This indication was given by the Minister of Information, Labaran Maku, who briefed journalists after the Federal Executive Council meeting today. He said the event, which will take place on Sunday, will formally enable Nigeria to know a few of the sectors that recorded the most progress.
We're supposed to do this every 5 years. Every country recalibrates its own GDP statistics and data to show the progress made or challenges faced by the economy. But right now, the Federal Executive Council was briefed today that on Sunday, by the grace of God, at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, around 2 p.m., Nigeria will formally release the new GDP figures for the country, which have just been worked out by, like I said, nations, institutions, and international agencies whose duty, it is to work out GDP figures for every country. And so we hope that by Sunday, these new GDP figures will be released. And the importance of this is that for the first time in 15 years, we will know scientifically what the new GDP figures are, what is the contribution of every sector, every key sector to the economy. We'll also be able to know over this period which sectors have made the most progress and which ones are lagging behind.
Well, for more on the news at 10, we go to Abuja studios where Linda Akigbe is standing by.
Thank you, Sulaiman, and welcome to the nation's capital. The president has asked world leaders to assist Nigeria identify sponsors of the terrorist group Boko Haram. President Goodluck Jonathan, who is speaking at the European Union African Union Summit, on Peace and Security in Brussels, Belgium, notes that the world has the responsibility of holding the sponsors of the deadly sect accountable for the atrocities. He added that there can be no development in Africa if the issue of insecurity is not holistically tackled, emphasizing that peace and development are two sides of the same coin. Feuding farmers and Fulani herdsmen in Nasarawa State have signed a peace accord to end all hostilities, which has claimed numerous lives in the state. The truce was brokered at the end of a peace meeting facilitated by the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, Mr. Mike Zokumo, in Lafia, the state capital. Mr. Zokumo, who is also the chairman of the Security and Peace Committee of the Nigerian Police, told journalists that both parties also agreed, among others, to ensure that there are no mercenaries among them. The Senate is proposing a procedure for the introduction of a new constitution as part of the amendment to the 1999 Constitution. If this amendment is passed, the President, in addition to the National Assembly, can introduce a brand new constitution. Some Nigerians have said the 1999 Constitution does not represent the wishes and aspirations of the people. Even with the ongoing constitutional review in the National Assembly, there are still agitations for a new constitution. Well, it appears that the Senate is opening a window where Nigerians can have a new constitution. The Senate committee, which has been working on reviewing the 1999 Constitution, presented some new proposals at Wednesday's plenary. One of the proposals is to make provision for the President, in addition to the National Assembly, to initiate a process of producing a new constitution. A matter of such significance elicited an intense debate for and against the proposal.
We gave ourselves probably the exclusive right to initiate the making of a brand new constitution. And because of what is going on today in the National Conference, and people thought that it could lead to the need for creation of brand new constitution in Nigeria, let us also give the executive a window that they can probably ask the National Assembly to start the process of making a new constitution.
We don't have the monopoly of wisdom. The National Assembly does not have the monopoly of every wisdom. Other key actors in the Nigerian society should be able to contribute, and that is why we brought this position of opening the window.
I'm in total disagreement with this proposal. This requirement is superfluous.
Mr. President, please, I will appreciate that we move forward, allow this constitution to go on, allow the National Assembly to perform its own responsibility, and let's jettison anything that is outside the way we contemplate and live together as Nigerians.
Other new proposals which were presented for amendment include to empower INEC to deregister political parties which fail to win presidential, governorship, chairmanship of a local government, area council, or seats in the National or State Assembly. The House of Representatives says it will stay action on the matter concerning the defection of some members of the ruling People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress until all cases in court over the matter run their full course. The Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Media, Victor Ogene, told journalists in Abuja that several precedents have been set before the recent judgments and the House is therefore not in a hurry to act. He added that the Speaker of the House is not under any pressure to declare the seats of any of his members vacant.
One of the decisions arising from our interactions is to allow the different cases in court regarding defection of some members to run their full course. And in arriving at that decision, the House took cognizance of the fact that precedents had been set even before last Friday and last Monday's rulings. If you recall, a certain member had defected from the Labour Party in Ondo State to the then ACN. That matter is still in court, and that member is still participating in the affairs of the House.
The Lagos High Court, sitting in Ikeja, has fixed May the 2nd to rule on an application filed by the former managing director of the defunct Intercontinental Bank, Erastus Akimbola. The former bank chief is challenging the jurisdiction of the state court to hear the 47.1 billion naira theft charge preferred against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Mr. Akimbola is charged alongside his associate, Bayo Dada, for allegedly stealing the money which belonged to Intercontinental Bank. Delegates at the National Conference in Abuja have urged the President to ensure that the recommendations that will result from the conference are implemented. This was a key observation as delegates continued their discussion of President Goodluck Jonathan's speech while inaugurating the conference. Some of the delegates also called attention to the need to address issues of security, corruption, and disunity in the country. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi has this report.
Now, for the second day, delegates rose to speak on the president's speech, but most of them moved on to discussing some of the issues they hope the conference will try to address. Some of the delegates, while commending the president for convening the conference, say implementing the conference report is more important.
To make history, to make a difference, so that the recommendations of this conference will be as much as possible implemented, especially those that are related to the critical issues that are being raised in this conference.
Others touched on other aspects the conference should concentrate on.
We are running a primitive capitalist system. It used to be the case that people would work to make their money, but now you can have subsidy billionaires and you can have short-paid billionaires. The country must move beyond condemning this by establishing an ethical standard for all public officers and for private people.
We need to fight corruption head-on and impunity. A situation where in the public service and even in the private, you see an individual steal a sum of money to about 1 billion naira, and at the end of the day, we give reasons and they still walk around today. It's like killing the future of young people in this country.
In all these situations, go to the villager in any of these states. The money does not go down. This is the conspiracy of the elite. We consider ourselves until Nigeria starts thinking of the common man, until Nigeria starts thinking that others are human beings. They have right to these resources. We're not making any progress.
Now, the conference adjourned till Thursday to continue on the president's address. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
And that's all from Abuja. Back to you, Sulaiman.